What's up, guys? FlamesU here, and I am here with some Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel for you guys today. Today I'm going to be talking about the Sky Striker deck and why it's good and why you should use it. It's one of the best decks in the game. It has got a very steep learning curve. You've got to know the choke points to lots of decks to understand when to counter certain things, but overall, it's fairly easy to use once you get past that learning curve. Hopefully today, if you're trying to play Sky Strikers yourself, after watching a couple of these replays, and then I'll do one live duel, and we'll see how you guys can learn kind of how the basic gist of it goes. And I'll do the live duel, win or lose. I lose all the time. You win some, you lose some. But I want to showcase first Sky Strikers versus Sky Strikers. A lot of people ask how the mirror match works, and that's what I've got pulled up here. This first encounter that I have here is a Sky Striker v Sky Striker. Now, I got really lucky with the draw here. I ended up with 2 hand traps, a Monster Reborn, and a reinforcement of the army, and a Sky Striker Mecha Shark Cannon. Now, at this point, when the duel started, I didn't know that I was going against Sky Strikers until I saw them summon Ray. So let's get started on this here. So there we go first. I saw Ray come out. Now, when I saw Ray come out, I knew right there that as soon as I saw Ray, I was like, okay, this is the mirror match. So he goes into Shizuku, and it's his turn. Tries to get that card out. I ash it. Now, if you notice here, I had already thought this the minute that the turn changed, and the minute I saw Ray, I had already thought, oh crap, I don't have a Ray. Let's see what happens. So I draw. I was like, oh snap, an Effect Veiler, which was perfect, right? So in this case, I could go through and link summon all the different links. And then on the next turn, and so what my thought process was, Monster Reborn, their Ray, and then use it to get my link summons going. Do all the link summons, then normal summon Effect Veiler, go into Crystron, and you'll see how that happened. But that wasn't in the cards for me. So, I Monster Reborn, bring back their Ray. I gave the Ray back to bring out my Sky Striker. Now, when I brought out Sky Striker Hayate, I knew already that Ray being in that graveyard was going to be a problem. So, of course, I wanted, when you have their Ray in the graveyard, you want to get that thing out of the graveyard as fast as possible and banish it using Shark Cannon. Then I went on to another link summon. This was me just getting all the elements. So I go into Kagari, I activate Kagari's effect, grab my Shark Cannon back. Right? Then I start just going into the different elements. I was aiming for the 5K access code talker in one turn. I just started cycling them all. Into Kana. And then I summoned Effect Veiler, and I went into Crystron. So I went into Crystron because Crystron's effect allows you to special summon 1 tuner monster. You can special summon 1 level 3 or lower tuner monster from your hand or deck in defense position, but it can't use its effects. So that would allow us to get the other Effect Veiler out of the deck. I went to do that, and he ashed it. Or she. They ashed it. So I banished their ash, quickly realizing that it doesn't work the same as Called by the Grave. So I was like, okay. So I did a reinforcement of the army, because I knew that I was going to need... The reason I did reinforcement of the army was because I knew for a fact that I was going to need Ray to continue my summoning. And in the event I didn't draw a Ray, I would still have one here. And I still have a tuner, but it's and a hand trap. This is my first time explaining something like this, so you'll kind of have to bear with me, folks. I'm sorry if it gets confusing. So it's back on my turn now. They couldn't do anything. So I'm going to use Jamming Waves and get rid of their set card. It was a Mystical Space Typhoon anyway. Send Ray out. Have Ray come into Hayate. Attack their life points directly. And then I get a charge, or send a field spell to the graveyard. So when I sent the field spell to the graveyard, I thought its effect would activate, but then I remembered that Area Zero's effect only activates when it's sent from the field to the graveyard, not the deck. Keep that in mind. The same goes with Hercules. Hercules cannot just be sent from deck to graveyard and work. So he ashed me again. I was like, okay, whatever. You know, it was fine. So he goes to blow up, and I bring Ray back out. They bring out Ray. And they go into Kagari. Now they're going to try to get something out. So I hand trap them so they can't get that afterburners. And now they're stuck with Kagari. Now they go to attack. I go into Shizuku. Now the reason I went into Shizuku, there's two reasons. Number one, I didn't have Kana to end the battle phase. And number two, even if I did, Shizuku is needed at the end phase, so you can pull a card from the deck. And on top of that, Shizuku lowers the attack of the monster. And since I'm mirror matching, that's effective, because now they just lost their Kagari. They bring their Ray back out, and then they send it out for a direct attack with Hayate again. They don't activate the effect for some reason, but I go ahead and grab my engage. I drew a Ray. It's like, okay, so I activate engage. Now, I have more than 3 spells in my graveyard, right? You need at least 3 spells in the grave. I have more than that. So by activating charge, I can draw 1 card from my deck after getting the Sky Striker card that I need. So I pulled out multi-roll. Activated multi-roll. And I destroyed that. I put Ray here. And they bring out Kaina to shut down my battle phase. Main phase 2, I go into Zeke. Right? Zeke is underrated. You use him a lot. He's super powerful when it comes to the fact that you can increase his attack. The attack increase is permanent when you do this. And then on top of that, you have the fact that you can banish an opponent's monster until their next end phase. So that's what I did here. So I procced his effect, banished this monster till end phase. Then I added in that so I could get rid of it. And increase his attack, replace my shark cannon. I want to keep Rays out of the graveyard. So they go to activate. So they activate Jamming Waves, which will destroy this. But since this is a quick play spell, I can still activate it, get their Ray out of that graveyard. Then they Monster Reborn their Shizuku, which will lower my attack so they can link back into Kana. Now, they make a misplay here. They activate the effect on me here to stop my battle phase, but it only works until the end of the turn. It's not permanent. Once their turn ends, it's over, and my Zeke could attack if he wanted to. Then they go into Hayate so they can attack me directly. Once again, they don't proc Hayate's effect. I don't know why. So I activate multi-roll, get my engage back out, and they get their monster back. Now here's where this gets really good. Alright, so they got their monster back because Zeke's effect wore off. I drew a max C. So now I'm going to activate my engage. Oh, sweet, I drew a Widow Anchor. This is where things got really lucky for me. And I drew a Rose. So since I drew a Rose on that, I'm activating Widow Anchor to steal one of their monsters, and then I can normal summon Rose, which will give this Zeke counts as 2 materials for a link summon. And Kana will count as 1, and Rose will count as 1. Or Hayate is the one I took, I guess. So now I get to go into access code talker, and while it's not 5,300, activating its effect, I still get 4,300 attack points, and against Sky Strikers, that's more than enough. So I choose Zeke, buff them up to 4,300, destroy their card, attack them directly. Activate my multi-rolls effect, pull out a Widow Anchor just in case they do anything, and I pull this out so I can have something to tribute or get rid of. They ended their phase, there was nothing they could do. I didn't even waste time. Battle phase in the duel, and respect to the person for not surrendering and finishing the duel. So that was the Sky Striker mirror match, and how quickly you can overcome the mirror match by keeping their Rays out of the graveyard so they can't do their bounce back effect when you destroy one of their Sky Striker Link monsters. And same goes with Rose. If Rose is in the graveyard, you want to Shark Cannon Rose every time. Keep those monsters out of the graveyard. So the next duel that I had before that was this one. And I believe this was a Blue Eyes deck. So now here, I drew another really good hand and thought I could go for access code pretty quickly. Oh no, this was a Cyber's deck. Okay. Or a Cyber Dragon. No, it was Drytron, that's right. I'm sorry, I'm recording this as I go. So, not much I can do yet. I drew this. So now, with Airspace Area 0, I can excavate the top 3 cards of my deck. And if there's a Sky Striker card there, I can choose the Sky Striker card I want. If there's more than one, if there's only one, I take just the one card, and then it shuffles the deck. But to do that, I have to send a card I control to the graveyard. I went ahead and activated multi-roll and summoned Ray. I used my Airspace Area 0 to send Ray to the graveyard to excavate because I can combo Ray's effect, and that will allow me to bring out a Link monster and still get my draw at the same time. But he prevents that with his Herald of Orange Light. So I was like, oh crap, what am I gonna do? So I saw Shark Cannon, Maxi, and Afterburners. I chose the Shark Cannon. Activate the Shark Cannon, banished his ritual monster. I just don't want them to have resources. Sent that to the grave to activate its effect to bring out Ray again. So when Area Space 0 is sent from the field to the graveyard, alright, if the card's sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Sky Striker Ace monster from your deck. So that's how I got that Ray back out. Then I went into Kagari to grab that Shark Cannon back. Activate that Shark Cannon, banished another one of his monsters, linked out of Kagari into Hayate, so I can get a card sent to the graveyard. Now you see there, I sent Hercules, and again, this was before I realized it has to be sent from the field to the grave, not the deck from the grave. So if you want the effect of Hercules to work by when it gets sent to the graveyard, you can send 3 Sky Striker cards in your graveyard back to the deck, but only if it goes off the field to the grave. So it's best to set Hercules, use the effect of multi-roll or area 0 to send Hercules to the grave. So I link out and I go into Shizuku so I can get a card. Multi-roll lets me reset, so I set that. I set my Hercules, set my Shark Cannon, and then I get to add engage to my hand. Now I can properly send Hercules to the grave and add my Link monsters back to the deck. And they surrender. So I was setting up to keep things going, and it's all about recycling your resources, constantly recycling your resources, thinking on your feet and forcing your opponent to play outside of their normal strategy. Let's look at one more. I was actually in Platinum. Let's see, who is this? Let me see if this is even my Sky Striker deck. I just want to make sure. And I will be giving you guys my deck list at the end of this video, so you guys can use it. Okay, no. So this was my virtual world deck. Let me leave this replay. Okay, so this is my other duel with Sky Strikers. I got demoted down to gold because I was still learning the deck myself. But now that I understand it, it's got some key difference. So this hand was awful to me, but I activated engage and used it to get array. So if you have no monsters, nothing, and I've also don't run desires. I've taken desires out of the deck. I'll show you in the updated deck profile. Don't run desires. It's not worth it. Solemn Warning was good for a little while too, but I ended up taking that out. So I needed Ray so I could do my summons. So of course, with engage, I used it to get Ray. So then I go in and I link summon into Kagari to get that engage back. Now, the reason that I want to get engage out of the graveyard is because Shizuku lets you pull cards that aren't already in the graveyard out of the deck. It has to be a different named card. So I activate that to pull out engage. I link summon out into Shizuku. Set my Solemn Warning, activate my effect, get my second engage. Now I have both. He summons a monster, I solemn it. Boom. They in the face. I activate engage, get a Widow's Anchor. That sits at the grave. I activate another engage, get my multi-roll. I activate multi-roll. I set a Hercules, send Hercules to the grave, which activates its effect, and I can add the cards back into the deck once again. Then I go into Hayate. Attack. Activate its effect. We're supposed to be sending a Sky Strike card to the graveyard. Activate Monster Reborn. I pull their monster over here. And I link summon into Zeke. Now, I was still learning. This was my first duel with Sky Strikers. And then I go from Zeke back into Shizuku just to get rid of their monster. And I get my engage back because I added them both to the deck. It's kind of cringe watching this be played this way. Even though I still won this duel. So they start adding their pendulum monsters. And they get a really good board on me too. Now that guy can attack while in defense position. They destroyed my Shizuku, so I brought Rei back out. To end phase. Activate Rei's effect to bring Shizuku back out before the end phase so I can get my next engage. So to go back and recap that, they destroyed my Shizuku that was already there. And when they did that, I was able to bring Rei back from the graveyard via her card effect. Then, right before the end phase concludes, I can send Rei back, bring Shizuku out again, so that way I can still get the card I want from my deck. Draw phase, they activate Max C. I'm not too worried about it, I destroy their pendulum card. So now I'm going to activate my engage, pull out another multi-roll. And I drew a card because I have more than three spells in the grave now. So engage is letting me draw a card. I get multi-roll out. He tries to stop my multi-roll, so I Widow Anchor his ninja to negate its effects. I took control of it, negated its effects. Multi-roll is out. I send that off, and I get to activate it again, Hercules, to recycle and get those cards sent back to the deck. Then I go into Kagari. Activate Kagari's effect, pull my Widow Anchor back out of the deck. Then I attack him. Main phase 2, I link to summon into Zeke. So by summoning into Zeke, that gets rid of its monster, sends it to the graveyard. I activate Engage again. I get another draw. And it's Effect Veiler. So right there, I can Effect Veiler, and because Zeke was a link too, I can go right into Celine and skip Crystron. Now, Celine gets a spell counter on her for every spell that's in the graveyard. And by removing 3 spell counters off of Celine, you can special summon 1 monster. So, play spell counters on this card, equal number of spells on the field and in the graveyards. While, let's see, you can remove 3 spell counters from your field, special summon 1 spellcaster monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position. So that allows me to bring Effect Veiler right back from the graveyard, spend the 3 tokens, boom, bring Effect Veiler back, go into Access Code Talker, and by activating his effect and sending off the Celine, he gets 5300 attack. I activate multi-roll to reset, and I get my engage set back again. So they go for a combo. Then I Ash Blossom and interrupt his combo. He brings that back, destroys my spell, which deals 500 points of damage to me. Now he starts putting up a big board. But I'm guessing either he didn't know about it, they didn't know about it, or what. But they had nothing they could do against Access Code's effect. They go Max C, that's fine, because I'm not going to summon anything. I just start banishing my Link monsters and destroying everything on his field. And as long as the monsters you're banishing, the Link monsters, are different elements or attributes, then you will be able to continuously activate that effect. Go into battle phase, boom, the duel's over. So, it can beat anything. Drytron's virtual world, it can beat absolutely anything. So, let's go ahead and take a look at the deck list. Now, I am going to add some changes as I work up some UR points. One more Max C, one more Ash Blossom. I will eventually remove the Cosmic Cyclone and the 2 Magic Cylinders, and I'll put a Called by the Grave and 2 Impermanences. So if you've got a Called by the Grave and you've got 2 Impermanences, replace these Magic Cylinder with Impermanence and this Cosmic Cyclone with Called by the Grave. So 2 Effect Veilers, 3 Maxi, or 2 Maxi, 2 Ash, 2 Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion, 3 Rays, 2 Rose, a Raigeki, Monster Reborn, Reinforcement of the Army, 2 Engages, 2 Afterburners, 1 Jamming Waves, 2 Mecha Armory Hercules, 2 Area Zero, 2 Multi-Roll, 1 Cosmic Cyclone, 1 Hornets, 2 Widow Anchors, 2 Eagle Boosters. Eagle Boosters is a must. This is mandatory for this deck, in my opinion. If you control no monsters in your main zone, target 1 face-up monster in the field. That card is unaffected by card effects except its own. And if you have 3 or more spells in the graveyard, it can't be destroyed by battle the turn that the card's activated. So, I'm debating between 3 of these, but 2 seems to be just fine. So 2 Eagle Boosters, 3 Shark Cannons, 2 Forbidden Droplet, and 2 Magic Cylinder. For the extra deck, we have the 1 Kagari, 3 Shizuku, 3 Hayate, 1 Kana, 1 Crystron, 1 Nightmare Cerberus, Nightmare Phoenix, 2 Zeeks, Celine, the Queen of the Master Magicians, and Access Code Talker. That's my current deck list as it sits right now. Again, I will be putting in 1 more Maxi, 1 more Ash. I will be taking out 2 Magic Cylinders, and I'll be taking out the Cosmic Cyclone and putting in Impermanence and putting in Called by the Grave to deal with the Ash Blossoms. Then you can also, some people also run a couple copies of Chicken Game. You can run that too. That's really powerful with this deck. I personally don't run that, but you can if you desire. But this is the deck list. Now we'll go into a live duel, and I'm posting it up win or lose. So let's go. So I want to go first. All right, an awesome hand. I like it. So I'm gonna go ahead and activate Engage, and we're gonna pull a Widow's Anchor. Alright, Summon Ray. And we're gonna go into Kagari. Because we want to get that Engage back out of the graveyard. So we got our Engage back. And then we're gonna special summon into Shizuku. And we're gonna end our turn just like this. And even if you have a Widow's Anchor on the field, always try to keep one in your hand so they can't destroy it on you. Alright, so we're gonna grab that second engage. Now we have 2 engages in our hand. We're gonna use Effect Veiler only in the event of an emergency, because right now this is a really good setup. We can almost definitely win next turn, depending on how they play their cards. So I think this is maybe a Dark Magician deck. Let's see, I believe that's what Dark Magical Sir. Oh yeah, and I hate that trap. So they go ahead and set that. They've got 2 Eternal Souls they're going to try to put up. They're going to activate its effect. I'm not even going to bother using Effect Veiler for it. Let him do what he wants. Dark Magical Circle again, okay. They're going to attack my Shizuku. Which is fine. Once they do that, I'm gonna bring Ray back out. So now I want to go look at this again. That trap card, Eternal Soul, every Dark Magician in your monster unaffected by cutscene. One of these looks like one Dark Magic attack with 1,000 Ash predicts your hand. Okay. So it's probably going to activate those ASAP. Alright, we drew a rose. That's fine. Oh yeah, that's right. Hold on, let me get... So let's see. Right now, first thing I'm going to do is go into Shizuku. I want to get different monsters in the grave as fast as possible. And the best part about this is that no matter what, so they're going to activate their traps now, but I'm going to get out Access Code Talker, and I'm going to shut both of those traps down, destroying everything that they have. So it's fine. He can do that. I'm going to let him do this. So I'm going to go ahead and activate Engage. He's got the opportunity to activate another card. He's not going to. I'm going to go ahead and get out this. I could skip Crystron entirely. I'm going to activate another Engage. Then I'm gonna pull out, let's see. I'm gonna pull out another Widow Anchor. So we now have 2 spells in the grave. We're about to have 3 right now. Alright. Even if they were to destroy any of that, it would be fine. Alright. So now, I'm going to continue on Link Summoning. This guy doesn't know it yet, but his whole day is messed up now. So I'm going to Link Summon one of each of my Shizukus, or my Sky Strikers. So Hayate, Not gonna activate that effect. Give him another chance. I'm a special summon into my last Sky Striker. And so now what I'm doing is I'm loading the graveyard with different elements, right? And I'm not even gonna bother activating her effect. They're gonna have an option to activate a card. I'm going to summon the effect Veiler. Then I'm going right into Celine. And I have enough spells in the grave to activate her effect. Alright, I'm gonna activate her effect. Now, if they've got an Ash, this would be the time to use it. They're not. I'm bringing Effect Veiler out. And guess what, guys? This is GG for them. Into access code. Activate its effect. Target this. Boom, 5,300. Now time to clear his board off. Banish. Gone. And I'm stacked for anything he wants to do. I'm totally fine. It's good. Vanish. Boom. Guess what? His other one's gone. Vanish. Boom. Guess what? Next card's gone. Access code is fucking OG. Vanish. Guess what? Next card's gone. Boom, I just cleared his board. Battle phase. Big whopping 5,300 attack power. Go on to the end phase. So he's going to banish my access code talker. Now there's nothing I can do about this because I don't have the hand trap, right? And that's fine. That's a good play on their part. Alright, so right now I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. But we'll find out. I think he's got both of his traps. Alright, let's see what we can do. It's gonna be hard to recover from. But on the other hand, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna set this card. I'm gonna set this card. So here's what I'm gonna go for. No, 'cause his effects are negated anyway. Oh no! They chose my magic cylinder. That is unfortunate. Pull him out. We're going to seek. That'll take care of that dark magician. Pretty sure it's unaffected by my card effects, so that's fine. We'll go into Hayate. we want afterburners. Let's see what they do with their turn. Do I have another cannon? I don't. I'll just let it go through. It's fine. Alright. Let's see what we get. Oh, yes. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is activate afterburners. Let's just say we go through that. And we'll get rid of his trap, which means he now has to destroy all monsters on his side of the field. At this point, it is now game. I need only attack him. It's gonna bring back that magician's rod. And that's perfectly fine. Because just to salt him, I'm gonna take it. Just to be dirty. We're gonna go into Zeke. Just to get rid of his card. Then I'm going to activate his secondary effect, get rid of this card, and its battle phase. So, there you have it, folks. Even when it looks like all hope is lost with the Sky Striker deck, he took out my decode or my access code talker. He had a counter for almost everything I was doing, and I was able to work around the fact that he had the ability to prevent me from targeting his monsters with card effects. By destroying that trap card on the field, I'm able to eliminate every monster on his board. So he only kept minimal monsters on the board because of that, and I forced him to play outside of the strategy. That was a very, very good example of what Sky Strikers are capable of. So I'm going to save that duel for future reference. Thank you guys so much. If you guys enjoyed this video and you would like more, or you want to learn more about some different archetypes, or if you would like me to go more in depth with this, I'm sure it might have been kind of confusing. I hope at least someone who watches this got a little bit of extra hope and extra tips for how to properly play Sky Strikers and win. It's a very strong deck. It's very good. It's got the learning curve. I hope watching the way that I've played the deck maybe suits your playstyle or helps you out. so that you could learn to effectively play it as well. I know there's tons of other Sky Striker videos out there that are super helpful as well. I hope mine helps you as well too. If it did, please hit that like button and subscribe and turn on the notification bells so you never miss an upload. Leave me suggestions in the comments down below, some archetypes you'd like to have covered, and I'll cover those as well. Let me know that you like this kind of content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next video.